Hello, it's Josh Kinlaw. I'm missing my students at the King's College. I've got a short reading from P.G. Wodehouse today. He had more fun with the English language than any other author of the 20th century, and he had that fun during 2 world wars. This is from his Joy Comes in the Morning, where our protagonist, Bertram Wooster, is visiting a bookstore to pick up a book by Spinoza for his loyal valet, Jeeves. "Good morning," I said. "I want a book." "Spinoza," I replied, specifying. "I'll go and see if we have it in stock," said the clerk, "but possibly this may be what you're requiring. It's said to be very clever." He pushed off, Spinozaing under his breath in a hopeless sort of way, leaving me clutching a thing called Spendthrift. It looked pretty foul. Its jacket showed a female with a green oblong face, sniffing at a purple lily, and I was just about to fling it from me when I became aware of someone good gracious birdieing and, turning, found a tall girl of commanding aspect who had oiled up behind me.
"Good gracious, Bertie? Is it really you?"
I emitted a sharp gurgle and shied like a startled mustang. It was Florence Cray. Briefly, the reason why this girl's popping up had gotten in amongst me in this fashion was that we'd once been engaged to be married, and not so dashed long ago either. The mere mention of Florence's name was still enough to make me call for a couple of quick ones. Scanning the roster of females I've nearly gotten married to in my time, we find the names of some tough characters. Honoria Glossop was hearty. Her laugh was like a steam riveting machine, and from a child she'd been a confirmed backslapper. Madeline Bassett was soppy. She had large melting eyes and thought the stars were God's daisy chain. These are grave defects, but to do this revolting duo justice, neither had tried to mold me, and that was precisely what Florence Cray had done from the start, seeming to look at old Bertram Wooster as a mere chunk of plasticine in the hands of a sculptor. The root of the problem was that Florence Cray was one of those intellectual girls, steeped to the gills in serious purpose, who are unable to see a male's soul without wanting to get behind and shove. We'd scarcely arranged the preliminaries before she was checking up on my reading, giving the bird to Blood on the Banisters, which happened to be what I was studying at the moment, and substituting it for a thing called Types of Ethical Theory. Nor did Florence attempt to conceal the fact that this was a mere pipe opener and that there was worse to come. Have you ever dipped into Types of Ethical Theory? Right. I think you'll be able to understand why the sight of her made me give at the knees somewhat. Old wounds had been reopened.
"And how are you, Bertie?"
Oh, fine, thanks.
"I have just run up to London to see my publisher. Fancy meeting you. And in a bookshop of all places. What are you buying? Some trash, I suppose?"
Her gaze now transferred itself to the volume in my hand. She took it from me, her lip curling in faint disgust, as if she wished she had a pair of tongs handy. And then, as she looked at it, her whole aspect suddenly altered. She switched off the curling lip, she smiled a pleased smile, the eyes softened, a blush mantled the features, she positively giggled.
"Oh, Bertie!"
The gist got past me. "Oh, Bertie" was a thing she'd frequently said to me in the days when we'd been engaged, but always with the sort of nasty ring in the voice which made you feel that she'd been on the point of expressing her exasperation with something a good deal fruitier, but had remembered her ancient lineage just in time. This current "Oh, Bertie" was quite different, practically a coo, as if one turtle dove addressing another turtle dove.
"Oh, Bertie. Well, of course I must autograph it for you,"
she said, and at the same moment, all was suddenly made clear to me. I'd missed it at first, because of course I'd been concentrating on the girl with the green face, but now I perceived, at the bottom of the jacket, the words, "By Florence Cray."